Hello, Patriots. I am here today with a very important and special guest. Somebody who's actually special to me personally. Somebody who has inspired me. Somebody who I can even say that I go as far as looking up to. And so I'm thrilled to have him here today, so that he can share with you guys everything that we can fit here in this first podcast. And I just want to, introduce my good friend and also an entrepreneur, an amazing businessman, and also the fitness chair, or the chair of the fitness committee for Patriots Pathway of America, my good friend Leo Oliveira.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much for the opportunity, man. I'm really grateful to be here. I'm just excited to have this such huge role and opportunity in order to make an impact within this new nonprofit that you have going on. And I look up to you so much too, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
I'm honestly thrilled, and it's a privilege to have you. I remember when I called you and I was like, you know what? Matter of fact, let's take it back. Before we even get into all that, is it not true, Leo, that I called you like a billion times, and I was really determined to have you join us, because I was like, I'm not gonna let this guy go. I really, because for the position that I wanted you to help us with, it didn't only just focus on that. It wasn't just that. Like I said, and I mean it, I truly look up to you in many ways, more than just one. And one of those is actually the way that you are as a father. And we have two very special guests here with us, your daughters. So obviously they look up to you as well. So it's a privilege that I get to see that in person. But yeah, just tell us a little bit about, like, what made you kind of say, like, okay, you know what? I like Patriots Pathway of America. Let's see where it goes, and walk us through a little bit of that, and what your thought process was, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And again, man, thank you so much. And it's crazy to think, because when we first met, it was like at the gas station.
Yeah, right. Yes, that's true. That is true. Yes,
at the gas station.
I walked up to Leo like a complete and total fan. I was like, "Your lifestyle duo, right? Is that your guys' thing?" Yes, that is true. Yeah, that is true.
I was just thinking, but yeah. So yeah, my daughters. The moment I told them I got invited to the podcast, they were like, "Can we go? I would like to see it." I was, of course, I love nothing more than to have my babies here with,
Can we have you guys come, so that you guys give your dad, get on the shot, get on if you guys want, if it's okay,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And so this is the beauty of of working with Leo, I guess, or just being around Leo, is the family that he has. That speaks for himself, and we're gonna get into all that. But again, ladies, thank you guys. It's honestly, it's you guys have an amazing family. You guys have an amazing father and mother. So congrats, Leo.
Appreciate
really,
my son is working, so he couldn't make it. But
there you go. Yeah.
But anyways, so Chris, what inspired me and brought me my attention, and again, seeing you remind a lot of myself in my younger age, my younger times, and seeing you, when you first started just a few years ago, and seeing how far you've come, how far the things you've achieved so far. I've been watching from the outside in, and not just that, but I'm pretty well aware of the mission. I know that we must impact the youth. Right. That's where it should start, because people my age, it's a lot harder to make changes, change habits, and negative things that we have created through childhood and through teenagers, and even as a young adult. Right. But I know that with this nonprofit, with this mission that you have, the impact that you've made with the little bit that you've been given, I know with the support, with the right people, the right team, that we're gonna make such impact. And I'm excited, especially nowadays, after we're in very weird times right now, right. As you all know, especially since what's been happening to the country, to the world. I almost feel like we're under attack, right? And this is the way to fight back. This is the way to. I've always been the type of person that I've been home, and I'm like, outside of social media, how can I help? How can I contribute? How can I bring value into the youth, into people overall? Right. And this is it. This is you. You have enabled me to have a voice. First of all, I'm here right now, doing this amazing podcast with you, and again, having a voice, having a place to voice my thoughts, to voice my goals, and just the mission and exactly what I'm here for. And I'm gonna do everything I possibly can in order to share and show and give as much value to our audience, to our members, and to everybody involved within this space. So
Thank you so much, Leo. And honestly, I'm not going to get tired of saying it. It's a privilege having you on the team. It's a privilege having you on board. You and that those are beautiful words to me. The fact that you say that you look up to me, or that you value what I'm doing. I feel absolutely the same way about you, and I say that with total honesty. Which is why I was determined to bring you on. Yeah, so just a little bit more about Leo. The whole purpose, again, not the whole purpose. Actually, I take that back. One of the main purposes that I decided to bring Leo on was because, as you guys can see, I'm sure you guys can see by the camera, this guy is I call him Hulk. Right, I guess Hulk. Right, so one of the pillars that we have at Patriots Pathway of America is physical fitness. Right, physical well-being, your health, your fitness, and so again, I was like, this guy checks off all the I guess the checkbox, right? All the boxes, and so. Leo, we're gonna obviously discuss your role a little bit more on the fitness committee, and why, but more importantly, because people maybe don't necessarily care about like what we're gonna do on the operations side, right? That's for us to worry about.
Right.
But in your own words, your own message, your own thoughts, give us why it's important for a country, right? The people, patriots, to be physically healthy and have a good fitness.
So, I mean, that's a 2-hour topic to speak of, but if I was to briefly give you, there's so many benefits. I mean, people tend the initial thing you may notice, and with fitness, is how you look, right? It's a very physical looks thing, but there's just so much more to fitness than just looking good, than being healthy. There's the respect traits. There's the self-confidence. As a father, as a family man, my kids, the way they're raised, the confidence they built within. Like I cannot tell you. I'll give an example how many times it happens that I'm anywhere and I have little kids with parents, fathers, and pointing at me to see like, Daddy, look at that guy.
Right,
and to me, it feels great, but it's also at the same time very uncomfortable because the dad is looking at me, the overweight, unhealthy father is looking at me like in a not nice way. And I'm like, sorry, but that's just how, that those are the decisions that I decided to make with my life. And again, it's always in a positive way, but there's so many more things. I mean, physical health, mental health, the strength within the family, and even not being a burden to the government, which is a topic that I want to talk about, because actually that's something you brought up in a conversation that we had in the past, and you said that, and I was like, I never thought how a healthy, fit person can be less of a burden even to society, to the government, which again, that's also a form of patriotism, which I never thought of, but it's there. So again, there's so much entailed with this topic, that and not just that, but the opportunities. I can truly honestly tell you, I mean, look, this right now, it wouldn't have happened if I wasn't fit, right? Because if I was the average Joe Schmo, you would have never reached out to me, know. So even throughout my life and my careers and my businesses, there has been a lot of opportunities that have received just because I'm fit. And I look apart than others, and within that, it just expands to so many different ways of success and relationships and knowledge and so on. So again, I would love to speak more about it, and we will throughout this pod, and we'll go. But that's a briefly explanation of it. Right,
and I love that. I'm gonna just touch on two topics that you got into, so we can kind of dissect that a little bit more. Number one. When you brought up the fact that you're less of a burden to society, you're less of a burden to your community, to your family, your closest ones, and also to the government. I just want to expand a little bit on that, just a little bit more. I think that a lot of the problems that we're having here in our society is that people look at the government more than they should have, and more than we used to in the past, right? I mean, you're Brazilian, I'm Chilean. In our countries in South America, we're used to that, right? People looking at the government as God, as all that stuff. But here in the United States, that's actually a very new thing. It's not always been that way. So the way I want to connect the two is that what I want to say, and to our audience, to our people, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this, is that there's no politician right now. And I say that with all knowing what it means, because obviously I'm in the political space and all that. And I know some personally, but there's no politician right now who's going to come and save you. There's no politician that we can, rely on here in American politics as like, this guy's never going to fail us. This guy's always going to be there. So what I'm trying to say with that, and I would love to hear your thoughts, is the burden falls back on us. Right. You see? And so it has to, once we truly understand that, then we start to take a little bit more responsibility.
Right.
And so that's why I wanted to make sure that in our organization, we have those figures like yourself who can say, like, this is the leader that you guys should be following. And so, yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there really quick, that there's right now we don't have a politician or anybody, and we really shouldn't want to either, but we just don't have anybody who's going to come and save us. So it falls back on us. So what are your thoughts with that, as far as maybe a word of encouragement to people, but also like a call to action, like, hey, you got to wake up. You got to realize that, whether you're left, right, whatever it is, don't waste your whole life just waiting for somebody to come save you. Take some ownership and responsibility in yourself.
Right. So, I mean, when it comes to, the ownership and the self-responsibility to be fit, and just to, and it's not just being fit, it's that being fit comes with so many benefits from it. For example, these are things that we may not think of, but if something happened within your family, you need to defend your family. You need to make a run for something. You need to just anything that can happen. Are you able to defend your family? Are you able to do anything when it comes to anything for your family? And that's a topic that actually, recently, and funny story, I'll share it. It went viral recently on my Instagram, and people are making so much fun of me. So I was on vacation. I was in Brazil, and I decided to run on the beach, and I was sprinting. I haven't sprinted in a long time. I tore my hamstring.
Wow.
Really. And then in the comments, I had a lot of people saying, what if you had to run to save your family? And I was like, okay, I get it. I got hurt, and I had this injury, and it was really bad. Like my whole leg was black and whatnot.
Wow.
Still is. But I was explaining, I was on vacation. I had, drinking certain things that are not the healthiest for you, and it happened. But on a day-to-day basis, I can run. I'm pretty healthy and fit that I can take care of business if I had to. And when it comes to, the burden of the government, when it comes to the burden of just society overall, just a healthy person, for example, the sick days, the healthcare within society, within just everything that those funds, there's no reason why most of our taxpayers' money is going to funding healthcare and all these government funded, like Medicaid and Section 8 and all these things. And a lot of that, like, for example, I've noticed most handicapped people in this country are not really handicapped. They're just overweight, right? It's a touchy subject,
right?
But that's the truth, and why is that? Like, are we disabling overweight people? Like, to me, again, it's a touchy topic, but in my opinion, you should not, because that's a decision they made to get that way. It's not a genetic thing. It's not, those that say genetic, it's not. But it's one of those things that we can go on and on about, because the country overall, and like I said, it's becoming a new thing now. It's always been like that, but I think it's getting a lot worse.
Right.
That people are depending so much more on the government for a lot of things, and if we can remove those things, like why are we getting so many sick days? Which I get it's extra vacation time, it's extra, but we have sick days in other countries that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, that's only here in the United States.
Yeah.
And overall, there's just so many things that we can talk that overall living and active and honestly, Chris, the main thing, you don't have children yet, but paving the pathway to our kids,
Right.
and them seeing us live this active and healthier lifestyle.
Right.
And not just that, man, but it just feels good to feel good.
Right.
You know, and I tell people all the time, you don't know how bad you feel until you feel good. You know,
I like that.
It's one of those things that a lot of people, like, they on a day-to-day basis, they're feeling really bad. And that alone, that feeling that you may not understand it yet because you haven't felt good in so long, it makes such impact in your whole life, your relationship with your wife, with your spouse, your job, you know, because people that are just not feeling good are constantly moody. They're not functioning properly.
Right.
So their entire lives, they're working at a 50%, you know, or 60 or 70% or 40%, depending capacity that they should really be working on, and in relationship with the family, friendships, so many different things. And not just that, but it is proven that a society with stronger, fit men, it's a lot harder to convince to certain things that we know are not true, right? And decision-making skills are really affected. You know, it's a hormonal thing, but it is a fact. And in this country, in this nation, the testosterone levels for men have declined tremendously. I mean, it's insane how we're in this downtrend. And on being on this downtrend, you see it out there. It's affecting so many things. And again, and that's the men, the father figure, the man figure is another topic that, you know, we can get into, and we can go hours and hours about it because we're in decline right now in this country, and I think we need to do something about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I want to touch that, go into that a little bit. It is, like you said, it's actually statistically proven that men with higher testosterone tend to lean more towards what you would call maybe conservative or more patriotic, more like. But I want to go maybe into a little bit even deeper. Somebody who has, men specifically who are physically fit and have higher testosterone and that kind of stuff. What's it called? Don't want to just sit back.
Right.
You know, they want to take more initiative. They want to create. They want to produce. They want to develop. They want to grow. And so that's our entire message at Patriots Pathway of America. You know, empower you so that you can go and impact the world, not just sit back and wait for the government, wait for your favorite politician to come by and manipulate you and tell you that, you know, we're going to do all these things for you, and then they don't do any of it. Right. So yeah. And then another thing that is obviously important to highlight is that actually, no, to go back a little bit on the family thing that you were discussing. I love that story that you shared of, you know, walking by and people looking at you and you know, kids pointing at you and stuff like that. And so tell us a little bit about your personal experience, because obviously fitness and what's it called? I guess training is something that you also do, that you're very well known for. I myself have to, you know, get back on that with you. So tell us a little bit about like how you've seen it firsthand, right? Somebody come to you, and how when you put them into a cycle or a discipline of fitness, you know, from a trainer standpoint, what do you notice differently from their moods, from their whatever you want to do, not just the physical, maybe the mental also, and the you know, their day-to-day life. Like what are some observations that you've made? Yeah,
man. So again, I've been coaching and been in the space for a very long time. You know, and it came to me fairly easy because my mom and my dad, they're actually very fit. My mom has competed in the past. My dad has always been fit running. So I was raised around a very healthy, active lifestyle. So it's always been a lot easier for me to follow certain steps, certain traits in order to live the lifestyle that I live, which is why I emphasize so much on parenting, on us being healthier because our kids are watching. You know, whatever we do
Right.
is what they're gonna do.
Right.
And with that being said, you know, when people are just the clients that I've had in the past to kind of touch base on what you asked about the impact that it has made, you know, people, you know, overall.
Right.
But I've had so many clients. I mean, I can name, you know, many of them.
Right.
That I'll tell you, Carlos Ruiz. Not too long ago, he actually. Hey Carlos, if you're watching this,
Right? I'm sure he will.
but you know, he told me, and I have the message. He's like, listen, man, never in my life, people have seen me and looked up to me this way at work. People asking me, what did I do? What am I doing? Why am I so fit? How did I make the change? All of a sudden, he's getting promoted. All of a sudden, he's getting asked to take higher leadership roles within his company.
Wow.
And he's like, dude, and never in my life, I was working for this company for 10 plus years.
Wow.
And nothing has changed. The only thing that changed was my confidence was completely different.
Yeah.
I was showing up to work earlier. I was leaving a little because I had more energy all of a sudden.
Right.
So like, and again, it's physical changes, but mentally and the way you show up is just completely different.
And it makes you think. It makes you think like why. And I'm connected to something that we saw with our own eyes that nobody can dispute. But it makes you think why they have declared war on fitness.
Right.
Right. Because think about it. Think about what you just said.
Yeah.
And then also in 2020, during COVID, the gyms were shut down. But the strip clubs, the liquor stores, all these places were open.
Everything that can harm us.
Everything that can harm us was open. But the gyms, the churches, those were non-essentials. You remember that word, non-essential?
I remember.
So that's okay. So again, guys, we at Patriots Pathway of America want to break that chain, right? We want to do something different. We want to promote what is good for the soul, what is good for the body, what's good for the mind, right?
100%.
And so now you guys can understand why we have people like Leo being part of our organization.
And to sorry to cut you off, but
no, please.
And a lot of the things that again, we're just here having a conversation, right?
Right.
But the goal, and we have so many ideas and so many ways for people to start their journey. And to make small changes. I don't expect anyone to just all of a sudden go from 0 to 100. Is small changes. We're gonna try to have the best platform in order to keep people engaged. Have a space that we can share daily thoughts, daily actions.
Right.
Within group chats and communities and platforms, for me to show exactly how I live my life, and to show you that it's possible, that anyone can do it. That all the things you're telling yourself, right now, listening to this, you may say, you're already telling yourself the excuses in your head of why you can't do it, because that's exactly what's happening. Because you may have people right now that are like, yes, but in the back of their heads, they're already the buts.
Right.
But I don't have time. I work too much. I can meal prep because those are all excuses.
Right.
Because every single person that is living a healthy, active lifestyle may have even less time than those people. I have 3 kids. I have a wife. In the past, I had 3-4 jobs at one point while serving the military as well. I was very busy, and I still made time to stay fit, to do the things I need to do, because if I fall apart, everything under me falls apart.
Yeah,
and that's not an option.
So what would you say? And I'm sure you've heard of this a billion times. Because obviously we're the people who are going to be watching this are going to vary from college students to top CEOs to people in the middle. What would you say to them when they hit you with, I don't have the time? I think, because me personally, that's maybe like the most I'm curious to see how you maneuver with that response from people.
So the thing is, man, we all make time for what we want, right? It's just it's priorities. So, for example, those people that say that, right? The one simple question I'll ask them is like, okay, no problem, you don't have time. Sure. Now, if something happened to you tomorrow, you got a call from your doctor that if you do not lose 20 pounds within the next 3 months, you're going to die.
Right.
I guarantee you
You'll
that
find
person
time.
will make the time.
Right. Okay.
Right? So
okay.
so I have never met someone so busy
Mhm.
in my entire life, in 37 years of life today, right?
Mhm.
That has not had the time, like 30 minutes. And listen, there's many ways around it. You do not have to go to the gym.
Mhm.
Gym is not the only option. If you don't have the time and all you have is 30 minutes a day, you can do a at-home workout. You can go outside for a walk, for a run.
Right.
You can start slow. There's always ways to move your body within your what you can afford and the time that you have. But I guarantee you, we all have an extra 30 minutes to an hour a day to do something that is going to help our mental health and our physical health and overall just stay fit and healthy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I love that. I love that. So I'm going to tie the next subject that we're going to touch really quick to fitness also. We're going to talk a little bit about the person that definitely impacted me and made me into the person that I am today, as far as the, getting politically involved and all those other stuff falls with me, which is none other than the great Charlie Kirk, or as I called him, and I used to call him this before the tragedy that happened. I would call him Charlie the Great, and so that's just, I feel it has a nice ring to it, but also because it's true,
Yeah, very true.
And so if you go through Charlie's life, and I guess this kind of also dispels the whole I'm too busy thing for everybody who's watching. If you look at how he started, and then towards the end of his life, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, but to me at least, as somebody who followed him for many, many, many years, towards the end of his life, he looked even more fit,
right,
and in better shape.
Yeah.
He had the, like when he first started, he had like, the chubby cheeks. He had a belly that would come out a little bit more. But as he got more and more, I guess you can say wise and so on and so forth, his fitness also followed.
Right.
It didn't stay behind. So I would like to hear your thoughts, and maybe, you can dive a little bit deeper into that as to, hey, wait a minute. Do we agree that Charlie Kirk is a Patriot? Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
So if he paid attention to his fitness and we all agree that he's a Patriot, then what is the message that comes back to us, right? So what are your thoughts?
I mean, I think when the answer to that, the simplest answer to that would be when you're moving at such high, fast pace and there's no other way around it but to be fit and to look better and to feel better, because if not, you just cannot keep up with it. And you've seen that throughout many top CEOs in many companies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've seen Dana White, for example, someone that I personally also look up to. At his peak, he became really unhealthy, and then all of a sudden he made a whole shift and he became, and there's many like himself that have done the same. So I personally think is more of a, they realize, because the space that he was in was also not the healthiest when it came to maybe his mental health, in terms of just debating and being in such negative space all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that being fit and being healthy is such a way as well. Like, for example, for myself, it's my pathway to stress relief. And if you don't have a way to release everything that you have within you, everybody has different ways. My personal way is the gym.
Mm-hmm.
So the gym is the place that I go to release all the negativity, all the stress. And when I leave there, I feel refreshed. I feel like new again. But the moment that I cannot go, or I don't go for more than 2-3 days, exploding, the stress, I start shutting down, and then business, family, friends, everything starts to get affected, because again, to me, is a way to release stress and just to bring myself back to zero almost, to take on whatever else that I have to take on in life and business and everything else.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's a huge part of it,
Yeah, absolutely. And now again, let's focus a little bit. Like I was gonna ask you a question. Like I would like to hear your thoughts. Let's kind of get into another subject here. What is Leo Oliveira's thoughts, right? Because I have mine. Everybody has their own. But what are your thoughts, right? Being in the space, being in the fitness world, why do you think that there's a particular group of people in government and in the media and in our schools, maybe in our educational system? Why do you think? And I'll give my thoughts later, but I want to hear your thoughts. Why do you think that there is a war declared on physical fitness, but also physical beauty? Do you see correlation between the two of them, or do you think that beauty is one thing and fitness is another? What? Let's answer the first question first, right? Why do you think that there's a war from a group of people, powerful people, influential people, on fitness?
I mean, can I speak freely?
You can speak freely, and so physical, excellence. Why is there a war declared on physical? Like, in other words, why are people shamed when they want to have the best body they can have? Why do you think that is?
So, to answer the first question, why the top are putting such negativity into fitness, being healthy. I think that's, again, the world runs on money. I think it's a financial thing.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a perfect example, right? My son, as you know, has special needs, right? So he takes quite a bit of medication due to his condition.
Right.
So him being an unhealthy person to the system, he's a profit.
Yeah.
Right. He's a profit. Like his medication, his monthly medication is $20,000+ a month.
Wow.
Right. So he's profitable towards the
system.
The system.
Right.
Myself, my daughters, we don't have any borderline condition. We don't have anything. I don't go to the doctor unless I have to. But there's no income being made from myself when it comes to that.
You don't make money from healthy people. There's no money to be made.
There you go. There's
no money. Okay. Yeah.
There's no money being made. Now, there's other ways that it was spoke about that health people do contribute to society, right? By open businesses, doing things, and working and not being sick all the time. But the attack on that, and then the other thing, this whole exclusivity thing has taken a whole new, what's the word? Approach, I guess. It's just, I saw when it first started, like, yes, like, let's praise, the TV doesn't have to be just models that look, and men too, like this perfect picture. I get it. But you know what? Like, now that I saw the change, but growing up, I don't know about you, but myself growing up, those people that looked really good, those people that it inspired me to be that way. Right. It inspired me to, like, man, it may not be 100% real because nobody looks like that all year round, right? But it inspired me to, like, man, I want to look like that one day. I look how amazing that looks and how healthy that is. Look how beautiful that woman is. Even the men, like, taking care of themselves. Now, I feel like our standards or for our discipline, even for the way we look, like, even the youth today, I see. You go places, man. People are in PJs half of the time, And again, it's like, I can never do that. Even if I'm going to a grocery store, I can never just go, like, my image and the way I look. Like, I don't know. I'm just going here. Yes, I get it. But it's
you never know when you're gonna get recognized at a gas station.
No, so I don't believe in that. I don't believe in settling and having and I believe in standards, right? We all have our standards. So when I see someone that may be dressed a certain way or may not come with the demeanor that they want to, it's weird, but it's changing. But I feel like we're on the right track right now that the people are realizing and are coming right back to the other side. And I feel like people are standing up for themselves a little bit more. The confidence is going up. People are getting healthier. There is a change, and I think people are realizing that is not the way. And like you said, and on TV now, on commercials and just places, there's the space. They're rewarding mediocrity.
Right.
I just don't agree with that. Even kids, like growing up, I don't know about you, but sports, you only got something if you won. I don't believe, my personal opinion, I don't believe in everybody getting rewarded.
Right.
Because then these kids, what are you looking up to? Like,
Exactly. What's the motivation?
What's the motivation to be the best? If you're getting the same as the best, if you won, you get a medal. If you got last place, you get a medal. I get it. They're kids. You want to praise them. But my opinion, when I was a kid and I was playing sports and I lost, it motivated me to want to do better.
Right.
I was sad and I cried. And you're a kid. You lose. You're not happy about it.
Right.
But nowadays it's like we get rewarded. It's like, it's okay. No, yes, it's okay. You lost, but do better.
Exactly.
And get better. And let's come back and win next time.
Right.
So.
And just to go into a little bit, now that you bring it up, the sports approach or the sports world. I've been in the soccer world my whole life, really.
Right.
If we're not using sports, whatever sport it may be, to build character, to build discipline, to build that internal demand of wanting more, then what are we using sports for? You get what I'm saying?
I don't know.
So
I don't know.
Is it just to fill the pockets of the ones in the tops, the the chairmans, the founders, whatever you want to call them, or do we want to promote sports to show people that they can this, if you want to reach or you should want to reach the highest possible level you can reach, you have to do all these things.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's a tool, but now it's not being used as a tool.
No, that's just fun.
That was just fun.
Which is fun. It should be fun. But there's things that are learned within, like you said, discipline. Like there's so much discipline, like martial arts.
Exactly.
What's the main thing of martial arts?
Right.
It's discipline. It's being respect, discipline, confidence. But how can you build those traits when everyone, win or lose, good or bad, we're all getting the same thing? So there's no more sense of
there's no incentive.
There's no incentive for anything that we do anymore.
Right.
Same thing happens in the workspace. Same thing happens pretty much anywhere.
Right.
And it's affecting us as a society.
And I don't know if you don't have to agree with this with me, but I think that the way I look at life now, unfortunately, and I wish it didn't have to be this way, but I tie almost everything back to how does the ruling class, how do the elites benefit off of this, right? And so I'm going to get into what I mean by that. Like, for example, if they hijack sports and they turn it into something where everybody's a winner, everybody's the same, everyone's equal, there's no one better than anyone else, what you do by that, like you said, you take away the incentive from the ones who do want to excel.
Right.
And now think about that. Okay, if I am sitting at the top and I want to eliminate competition, the best way to eliminate competition is to remove the incentive from those who could be a threat to you.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I tie everything back to how does the ruling class or how do the elites, what are they? Because let's face it, man. These people have their fingers everywhere. They have their hands everywhere. Right. So I mean, I'm not crazy to think that everything that we're seeing from the models, from the sports, from the teachers, from the TV shows, the movies, all these things, the politicians and the message that they preach, all these things are being funded behind the scenes by medicine, as fitness, since we're talking about it. All of these things are being funneled or peddled and funded by people who, one, are sadistic, gross people, absolutely, horrible, evil people, number one, and number two, who want to simply, in simple terms, and again, I would love to hear your thoughts, but I think that it's just a motivation to, one of their biggest motivations is to eliminate competition.
100%. I'll give you a perfect example with that as well, now that you said that. And my wife will be the one that knows more because she's the one that sees it. But for example, every single healthy food company, or for example, there was one recent that we started using for sauces, like seasoning and sauces. It's crazy. The moment they hit a peak, that they're popular and they're big enough that they're making an impact in society and in people's health, they get bought out. And guess what happens? They get bought out by the elites, and immediately ingredients change.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, it happens and they keep the same name. And if you don't know, and you're not looking at the ingredients, that changes. You don't know, and all of a sudden you're eating something that
you thought
that was good.
Okay, wow,
but it's not good anymore.
Wow,
and they do not. It's very silent. These people are sold. These companies are sold. They're not announced. They remove the ownership. They change it. They start using cheaper ingredients. Add all the seed oils. Add all the nonsense that should not be there and wasn't there. But they add. Some of these companies are adding ingredients, which in my head, as a business person, if I'm adding more, it adds cost.
Right.
So why would they add cost to a product that is selling?
Wow.
Like, what's the reason aside from harming us?
Exactly.
I just don't see any other reason why.
Wow.
And it happens. And again, my wife will be the one to tell you which brands that has happened to. But they're everywhere, and it happens all the time. Every time you see a new brand, a growing brand that's doing a good impact. Yeah. And everybody has a. I tell people all the time. One lesson. I forgot who told me this one day, but they were like, everybody has a price.
Everybody has a price,
right? Somebody may be $100, some 1,000, some 10,000, but some people the price is 100 to 1 million. Some people 10 million. You know, it depends what it is, but everybody has a price, and they get to run this, and it affects everyone.
And now that you're talking about that of everybody having a price, I just want to say something to our audience. As somebody who has been behind the scenes, as somebody who spends time with some of the most influential people in the world, I would say, trust me when I tell you that, because I've seen it firsthand, people or brands or companies or investors or donors, whoever it is, you put it on the industry that you want. Like you said, come to these people with their price, and then these people serve as the vessel to promote that message.
Right.
You know, so let's start, you know, getting away from that idea that these are people who have our best interests. They don't. Some might. Some, like you said, like, you know, there's always well, not really always, but every once in a while, we're going to find Charlie Kirks. We're going to find, you know, people like that who have principles and morals, and they're not going to get sold or bought. But for the most part, you know, these celebrities, these people that we've given such a huge platform to, they're going to swing with, believe me, they're going to swing the way that it's going. You know, the way that wherever the highest bidder is, that's where they're going to swing. 100%. And so, yeah, I mean, yeah, and now I didn't know what that detail that you had shared. I wasn't aware of that, but it makes total sense. But more importantly, it makes me feel that I'm not so crazy anymore to know that actually there is some, you know, more, I guess you can say, tangible evidence of what I'm saying. Right. Because I'm just saying it, you know, from what I know and from what I've seen. But now to hear that, you know, there are concrete examples of that, it makes me feel a little better.
Yeah, I know, it happens all the time.
You know, so
like you said, man.
Yeah,
fit people, healthy people do not bring profit.
They don't bring profit. Yep. Yeah, and so at Patriots Pathway of America, we want to promote a healthy body, because more importantly than, you know, like we've been talking about, more importantly than how you look and all that stuff, it's we come at it from a stand of give you back ownership. Would you agree?
Yeah.
You know, give people back the power, the ownership, and that kind of stuff, because you know, complaining, hating yourself, not feeling, because I'll go into another thing, right? Like, for example, you're a guy, right? And we're men, we're talking as men, right? You're a guy and you see a pretty girl go by, right? You automatically think to yourself, she's not going to be interested in me if you're obviously unhealthy and unfit. And instead of, okay, and this is what if we go back earlier in the show or whatever, I said that it's when you're healthier physically, you have more incentive, more not incentive, more
motivation, man.
Initiative. You have more initiative, right? But if you are somebody who is unhealthy physically, your eyes are still going to be your eyes, you know. Internally, you're still going to be the same, but you're going to see a pretty girl, let's say, or something, or a competition that you want to be a part of, or a sports team that you want to be a part of, or something. and you're gonna not even get yourself off your seat to go after that, right? And so I think that's why and just to kind of like connect a few things that I wanted to talk about earlier is that when you look at somebody like yourself, for example, physically in shape, walks into the room, that gives you more confidence as somebody who is, let's say, if I have to choose between a group of people who I want to represent my brand or who I want to work in my company or who I want to do business with, I'm going to go for somebody who's physically fit
100%.
because it screams discipline.
Yeah.
It screams hard work and all that stuff, right?
And that's not said enough.
And that's not said enough.
And if you say it, you're a bully, you're racist, you're whatever.
Fat phobic? Is that, fat phobic?
I guess, but it's the truth. If I had, as a business owner, right, if I had to pick a random partner because whatever reason, now it's fitness and looks, all of it. No, but like you said, it screams discipline. It screams dedication. It screams consistency. If somebody that can be consistent with their body, because I know what it takes, I know what it takes, then I know that this person, when things get a little tough, they can figure it out.
Exactly.
They can have a solution mindset, because it's not easy, and I understand it's not easy, but my message from all of this as well is I want to show and guide that being fit does not also just mean having abs. People have this mentality that being fit is being in crazy shape. I know many fit people that may not look the fittest. They're not overweight like that, but they're not ripped to a six pack. That's not it. But they can run laps around me, and I know many of those people. So it's not always just how you look. I was a bodybuilder prior to all of this, so like my vision, my training was very different compared to what I do now. But there's a lot of different ways and different goals and different mindsets, and it's not one system fits all. Everybody has different goals and different things, and that's okay,
Right. Would you go as far as saying, I think you would, knowing you, and maybe we, I think you would. Would you go as far as saying that a weak generation or a weak society is also a national security issue?
100%, man. 100%.
And you were in the military, right?
Right. I did 6 years in the Air Force. So 100%. And like, for example, not just that, but when things have happened in this country in the past, one that happened recently, you can ask my wife. I literally told her, honey, if something happened and I have to get ready, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever. I still have all my stuff. It's all there. I'm ready to go. And I feel that certain societies, and there's certain countries out there that men are very fit, and those are the scariest countries, scariest militaries that they have. But there's other countries that are extremely unhealthy, and that we will never have to worry about anything. I don't care the military, but their people are just, and honestly, that is us. That is us. This country, men are not what we used to be. Even our military, right? Even our military today. Like, again, I was in it. I can tell you that I would say probably 60 to 70% of military men are not fit anymore. When they come in fit, give them 5-10 years, and that's it. They fall, but it's a huge difference and impact on national security. And not just that, Chris, but as a little off topic, going back to something else that we spoke about, but even as a father, as a man, with kids, it's proven as well that other men that are thinking of even doing anything dangerous or harming your kids, they look at men, they look at their dads, and if they see a weak man, a weak dad, a weak presence within the home, you're a target instantly, and that's been proven by many times, and it's not just security, but like your home, your safe space, just everything, like it's affected by it, and people are very, even yourself, if you had to pick to fight someone, and to what would you pick, the man that seems like strong and confident and fit, or the ones that look like he can barely take 2 steps without tipping over, right? And
it's interesting, it's funny because there's been word around at different points in our recent history about war, that we're gonna get into war, we're gonna go to war, we're gonna go to war, we're gonna go to war and stuff. And it's interesting because the people who promote this, feminine kind of man,
I know exactly
right,
what you're gonna say.
are actually, now that we're going into war, right? That's not the person that they want to send if they had to choose. That's not the person that they would want to send to defend them and protect them. It's the people that they spend the rest of the year calling, what do they call them? They call them sexist, misogynist, racist, fat phobic, all these different things.
Right.
But when things get serious,
right, they're the ones that have to go.
They're the ones who have to go
fight for them.
Exactly. And so that just goes to show that even people indirectly, right, even if they spend the rest of the year bashing this, when it really comes down to when it matters, they use their common sense that the little they have and stuff, 100%. So so I mean, again, Patriots Pathway of America, we want to promote that. We encourage that. We celebrate it. We appreciate it. We and not only that, but we what's the word? We offer it or put people like Leo who will be involved and participate and will be able to guide them, right? Because in other words, what I'm saying is we don't just go here and talk about it and then we just sit back. We're actually going to be providing the tools.
Yeah. We're going to have so much stuff and events and things that are going to be in person. And again, having a day-to-day conversation about different topics, different things, not just, like you said, a podcast and then a week later, a month later, you hear another one and then there's nothing being done in between.
Right.
The goal is to preach certain things and then actually take action for all these things that we're preaching and make it work and make changes and change people's habits, which is the most important part.
Right. And so if we can, Leo, for just a little bit, because we have about 10 minutes left here. By the way, I think it's been a great conversation. What do you think? I think it's been great. Yeah. And if I'm missing anything, by all means, please go ahead and bring those things up. I know there's, like you said, we can go into hours and hours and hours and hours talking about this stuff. But I just want to also take advantage of this time to share with our members and our audience and our viewers some of the goals that we have or some of the ways that we want to put this into action. I know you've talked about, I guess you could say like accountability.
Mm-hmm. Accountability group.
Group and stuff. We're gonna be having events where Leo and others are gonna talk about the importance of being physically fit and all that stuff. We're gonna have either weekly or bi-weekly in-person things where we do a session or something. By the way, I'll leave that up to you. You're the boss there. But if you want to kind of just give the viewers, obviously we're just starting off with this, so everything that we do from here on out is new to everyone.
Right.
But what can they expect from the Patriots Pathway of America Fitness Committee that's being headed by you? Right.
So what I would like to do, again, we're just starting. So I have my ideas. I have things that I want to implement and do to help the community, help the members. But what I would love to do is once we have a smaller group, start asking them, what is it? How can I I love to listen to people and to see how I can support them, because maybe the way that I see things can be from a different perspective, different lens. And I just want, for example, a lot of people, my main goal is to educate people that is not as hard as they may think it is.
Right.
For example, most of my clients that are extremely overweight, right, undereat. They don't have an overeating problem. It's an undereating problem. And then the undereating problem is it's undereating and then it's bad food, right? And then if you just make specific small changes, it can make such huge difference in their health. So with the accountability groups, I would love to share and show you guys my day-to-day, what I eat every single day, the way my daughters, my kids, my wife, how in sync we all are with our health, with the things that we eat. We put a rule because, again, we're human. But it's been, I think, I can't ask my girls now, but I think it's been about 4 years, maybe 5 years now that we made the rule, if it has a drive-through, we just don't go to it. That's a non-negotiable. We do not go to anywhere where it has a drive-through. Why? Because I've never been to a drive-through food place that is good.
Right.
It doesn't exist. Not in this country, at least.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
So like there's little things like that, certain rules that we can implement. And the main thing that I want to show and is not that as hard as you think.
I love that, man, because I can think of like ways where people are going to be like, where people hear things, but then they, like you said it earlier, right? They start thinking of their butts, they start thinking about their excuses and stuff.
Right.
And it makes me, I guess I'm just going to say it makes me proud to have you here, because that's exactly what I want. Because I wouldn't be able to do that, at least in that area. You're the expert there.
Right.
But imagine this. Think of this, Leo. Imagine people come to you and they think that they have a mountain of a problem.
Right.
And then it turns out that you sit with them or at a group setting or in an event, whatever it may be, and you tell them like, look, man, it's actually here, this. And then they come back to you a couple months later and tell you like, and I'm sure you've lived this already, you've experienced it, which is why, we actually want you to be here and we're thrilled that you're here. So yeah, that's a great,
it's Chris, it's as simple. It is that we've become people with zero accountability, especially towards ourselves. So there is no accountability, and in today's day and age, holding people accountable for things is seen as a bad thing.
Yep.
If I hold you accountable for something, I'm a bully, I'm mean. It's the opposite.
It's an attack.
It's an attack, right? I love you for it.
Exactly.
I'm holding you accountable because I care for you, not because I'm trying to be mean or attack you in any way. Now, there's ways of saying things, which is something that I've been working on. I can be a little aggressive with certain things.
You're talking to
the way I say things. My wife is my filter, But it's not. It's so. Which you're gonna see. You're gonna see this. We're gonna be in a boot camp or fit camp or workout, group workout. I'm gonna pull a few people out, and I'm gonna ask them, why are you where you are today? And we're gonna hear the reasons. I'm gonna hear the excuses, and then I'm gonna ask, what are you willing to do to change, right? And then they're gonna give me more excuses. They're gonna give me, and then I'm gonna break it down so simple. They're gonna be like, oh, you see,
right? Yeah, I know.
This will be in person. This will be in person with random people that I've never met before, and you're gonna see that I'm literally gonna show them that all the problems they're creating in their head is all here.
Yeah.
There's nothing to it. It's so simple. Again, not everybody wants to be a bodybuilder and look like Arnold. Like it's simple things that people can do in order to have a better and healthier and active lifestyle, and to be an example for those watching you. Because it's generational. Like I know for a fact that from us down, like our family, at least my family, they're all gonna be healthy. I don't have to worry about that ever, because they know nothing but that. They don't know. You can ask my girls right now. They're here right now. You can ask them. When I have other family members that come to the house, they'll go to McDonald's for breakfast, and none of us like no way. Like we cannot eat that stuff. It's just not is not part of our lifestyle. So they just don't do it. Even birthday parties. When we go to birthday parties and there's cake, we don't, because the cake we eat is either homemade or because we're in a day and age right now that the colorings, the dyes, all these things that are put in foods were just and it messes up our stomachs. If we have it, it just doesn't work for us.
And that's interesting, because that goes to show that you're already accustomed and your body's already used to something.
We get sick from it. We all get sick from it.
And that's we only have a few minutes left, but I want to actually now we have a couple minutes left, but I want to just really quick highlight that, because it's a lifestyle, right? It's the lifestyle of a patriot that we want people to have, right? To live. And so this journey, right? Patriots Pathway of America, it's a journey, and that journey leads you to to a patriotic lifestyle. And the way that I can just right now in front of everybody prove that this turns into a lifestyle is what Leo just said. When you switch or when you get off your lane, your pathway, your own body pushes back.
Yeah. 100%. And it happens to us all the time.
That's awesome.
It happens to us all the time. The moment, if we have something that's out of the norm due to just life, it happens. Social events, parties, birthdays, dinners, birthday dinners, and we have to go somewhere we come back and we are a mess for a day or two.
Wow.
And it sucks.
It sucks. It sucks, but it's awesome at the same time.
Also at the same time. 100%.
Wow, that's crazy.
100%.
Well, Leo, man, I wish we had more time, but it's been an absolute pleasure and privilege having you on. I'm sure there may be a few things that we missed, but like you said, we could be doing this forever.
Yes, sir.
But again, it's a privilege sitting across from you, learning from you. And also I want to just send one last message to our audience to become a member so that you guys can spend time with Leo. You won't regret it. Patriots Pathway of America is an organization that wants to strengthen and develop people, and fitness is one of them. So I'll leave it to you, Leo.
No, thank you guys. Thank you, Chris, for the opportunity. Thank you guys for this, and I'm super excited. I hope to have many new members. I'm really looking forward to working with you guys, helping you guys in any way possible. I'm an open book. You can ask me. So once you're in the community, I'm going to be able to give you so much value towards whatever your goals are, whatever it is that you need to do. And I'm just excited. I'm ready. And let's make an impact.
Let's do it. Thank you, Leo.
Thank you, brother.
Take care.